What up? What up? This is Mike the Philosopher, along with a special guest of Tamara. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How you doing, Mike?
All right, I'm doing pretty good. We on the 6th season of Ready to Love, and I don't know. Just out of the gate, what are your thoughts on the contestants? I guess you could say versus last season, season 5.
So right out of the gate, I felt like they got a better set of men as far as attractiveness that I would like. I think last season there were a lot of the big beards. That's just not my deal.
It's one brother with the chocolate brother with a big beard.
It's one, but last season it might have been 3, 4, 5 of them. I just thought, oh, okay, it's a whole bunch of them. Right. Yes, it's just one. I think the guys this season, like first episode, 3 of my favorites, they can all get it. I never had that reaction before. So,
okay.
So I like the guys. I think the women, I don't know. I feel like as far as, I hate to talk about people's looks, right? They're just not as glamorous as some of the others, but I will say this is a very techie cast. Everybody's an analyst. I got an engineer in the group. We got another I've tried to write people's professions down because I just kept saying analyst, philanthropist. Like it's more techie than I've ever seen. There's a budget analyst. I don't even know what that is, but
budget, right. Yeah, it is pretty techy. You got some people in high tech. I'm starting to wonder, is that how they are more visible as far as getting casted? Like, is somebody in the tech world that's casting fellow techies? You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe they're looking for people that are a little more relatable. Because I felt last season, these are all models, people trying to get on, trying to get an acting career.
You talking about last season?
Last season, yeah. I felt people had played the game. I felt like last season, everybody was playing the game. You know, not that this season won't be that way, but these people seem a little bit more down to earth, like a normal person that you might run into at the grocery store or at the post office.
Got you. So with that being said, let's run down a list of some of these guys. What do you rank these guys?
So I'm from Gary. Okay. And to find out that there's a guy on there from Gary, Laverne is my 10 plus. And not just because he's attractive and he got a nice body. His swag is so attractive to me. Like, he's just cool. He got good comebacks. Like, I would banter with him. You know, he'd had me wrapped around his finger. So I just like, he's my male version of me. I'm like, man, that comment, that's one of mine. I would do that. I would say that. I would behave that way. I like him.
He had a lot of women coming to, come check him out and put their bid in, so to speak. So yeah,
I mean, they were stepping over each other to come sit down in Laverne's corner.
Yeah, they was.
I don't think I've seen a lot of that.
I know.
So
I noticed that too.
So he's got pretty teeth, and to me, teeth are important.
So I take it that he's like your number one guy.
He is my number one.
Okay.
So if it don't work out, Laverne, you can 970, get my number from Mike.
There you go. Laverne. I never hear a lot of guys with the name Laverne. That's kind of unique.
I haven't either. I'm gonna have to get
I wonder if he just go by Vern. You know what I mean?
Maybe I need to see what school he went to, what high school. You know.
Yeah.
Gotta know his school.
You probably know. Yes, being from Gary, you probably know. So.
And he's not that much younger than me. Again, Laverne. I put people's ages. That was another thing I liked about the season. There were the women were in their 30s, but there were more men in their 40s, and that seemed like a more mature age, my speed. So I like that too.
Okay. All righty. Who's next?
Number 2 is Clifton. Okay, so I'm always gonna go for the bigger guy because I'm I'm more of a curvy, ample woman. So I like a hug. But that dude, his sense of humor, to me, you got a sense of humor. I can get past a lot of things. And so he's cool. I wrote down sexy thick. Like he's
the teddy bear dude.
Yeah, he is I will probably, if I saw him across the room, I would approach him because he is definitely my type, just from looks.
You wouldn't approach Laverne, or you approach
Laverne
him first?
Laverne looked like he might be 5'5", right?
So he's
shorter than me. He do look a little shorter. So he'd have to come up to me because he's shorter. Right. But Clifton for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you ranked him what now?
He's second. Because Laverne is you said rank 1 to 10. I don't know I'm getting confused yet again. Oh, I have him as a 9+.
Wow.
Only because I couldn't have him in the same number as Laverne, right?
Right. Yeah.
But Clifton's a 9. But he cool. I like the way he responded. He was talking to one of the ladies and she was like, "You want to go back to the group?" He said no.
Yeah.
That part right there, that's good. Say what you want. You're not trying to be, he wasn't rude, but
right. And he was enjoying his time with her. So why go back to the group? I'm good here,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Yep. And so then the numbers start to drop a little bit more. Paul, which I know a lot of women don't like him.
Probation officer.
Yeah, I like him because he's tall.
Okay.
And he's 48.
Mm-hmm.
So the age got my attention because he's a little bit older than me. Mm-hmm. He did kind of ask the lady some crazy questions. You could tell she wasn't really, I think the ace, the philanthropist, he was asking her questions and she was put off by it. But I didn't like his parole officer thing, the PO, post office. I thought that was corny.
Post office, yeah.
Yeah, but he's a software analyst. So you gotta know your audience. He's a techie. He's probably.
Well, you know what else I heard is that he's a rapper. He's a 48-year-old rapper. Yeah.
What he rapping about?
He spit bars on the mic.
Okay. That's where I'm a post office. That's where I deliver. That's probably one of his lines.
Yeah, that's probably one of his lines. PO is probably his rap name.
That's right. But I liked him initially, like from the beginning, because he just seemed outgoing. I like a confident man. Right.
Yeah, he came off a little corny, but I think that he stuck around because the women liked his height and I guess his looks. I don't know.
I think if I think about my top 3, to me, they are the most attractive men. These 3. Laverne, Clifton, and Paul, and everyone else wouldn't be.
It almost like you got the shortest guy number 1, the middle guy number 2, and the tall guy number 3, which is could be considered backwards sometimes to some women, but
Well, for me, it's personality.
Yeah.
I got a quick wit, and a man that can handle that quick wit, that will be fun, right? It is important. And so Laverne and Clifton are supreme to me. They're than the other guys. Some of the other guys are shyer. That will be work for me. Not that it's bad, but it's just work for me. So that's why they're my tops.
Okay, so who's next up? I guess this will be your number 4 guy.
Number 4 would be Tori. Now, Tori's the guy with the locks. Okay. It's clear why I have an affinity to locks. I think locks are of a special, sexy kind of breed. He's got a nice body. I like that he was kind of being vulnerable.
Right.
Lady. That's another thing for me, authenticity. You ain't gotta bare your soul and tell me all your issues, but some some honesty where you seem healthy about it is a winner for me. I can't wait for him to take his locks down. That's what I say.
Wow.
Because they're gonna be crinkly and they're gonna be so I'm looking forward to that. But one of the reasons why he wouldn't be a top choice for me is he doesn't really open his mouth when he talks. I look at people's mouths when they talk to me and their eyes. And so that was like, open your mouth, articulate, you know.
Couldn't really see all of that.
Speak with some authority. It seemed a little on the shy side, but he will be my number 4. Okay.
What about his looks and everything? What would you rate that?
So I'm from Gary, so that I do have an attraction to thug-like guys. Not that he's a thug, but he kind of gives that off a little bit, just where his skin isn't flawless, right? And he's got the locks, and I can imagine when they're down.
His skin isn't flawless?
It's not. It's not. I noticed.
And you like that? That's a turn on. I don't
like that. That's not a turn on, but that's that thug thing that occasionally if a woman wants a little griminess in her life, I have those. I have those times. Those aren't the best times for me, but sometimes I'm like a grimy kind of guy, and I feel like that might be him when he, so. His looks are okay.
You got that Midwest taste, huh?
I would not look. I'm from Gary again. Some of this stuff you take the girl out the hood, but that
take the hood out the girl, right?
Girl.
Got you.
But I would not approach him. Like, he'd have to grow on me. But the fact that he was vulnerable and in some of the conversations he had with women, I thought were very authentic. So that won me.
Yeah, he had a pretty deep conversation with what's her name? Precious. I think it was Precious.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to, and they were going back into their backgrounds and their childhood, and I found that to be interesting. I'm gonna get to Precious, but yeah, I noticed that about both of them. So yeah, I mean, I would say off the bat they do have that in common, so they might make a good match.
I found myself liking him because I liked her and I liked them together. Just not so much how they look, but how they talk together. They're being vulnerable, being kind of honest. I just felt like she was very open.
Yeah, like it was a real conversation. Like they were genuinely trying to get to know each other. Yeah. So that was dope.
Yep. It gets hard after that because. No, it's hard because Wiley is probably number 5 for me. He reminds me of my brother. If you ever see a picture of my brother, that's what he kind of favors him. So that off the back, I'm like, he's young, he's 32, but he looks like my brother. So but I like the fact that he played college ball. He had his Virginia Tech. I think it's Virginia Tech. But I wrote, he reminds me of my brother.
Okay. So. I forgot how the brother looked, but yeah.
He was he the one with the fade? He had the fade, the box fade. That was him.
Okay.
This one's hard because no, it's not. 6 would be Demetrius. Oh, and I would give Wiley a 5. Demetrius is the one with the beard. I don't prefer the beard. I kind of think he got a bigger head for his shoulders. His shoulders were narrow. His head was big. And I know all the women liked him. He just isn't my type.
Really?
And I like a chocolate man with a beard.
A lot of women probably gonna disagree with you on this.
I know they are, but he's just not my. He didn't do it for me. He seemed a little thin. Like, I'm not attracted to thin guys. I think he was skinny, but and the
when
beard.
When he came in there, they was all over him. Like, ooh.
I know.
So
that's not maybe
he's second last. That's a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, he didn't do it for me. And you know what I wrote about him? Boring.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's probably bigger than the looks is that he said it, he's kind of shy, kind of reserved. That's not gonna get it for me.
Well, see, he's from the military, and he said he's a outdoorsy type of guy. So I know you're saying he's boring, but a military guy who does outdoor stuff, I don't.
Yeah, like shoot animals and people and stuff. Yeah, I can see that. Um,
Okay.
and two, I was curious when he said that. I'm like, what was he? Was he a drill sergeant? Was he? Because I've dated some military guys.
Mhm.
You got a 50-50 chance of getting somebody that's who you think they are. So I think that also influenced me to just he would have to chase me.
Right.
To be today, because I would. There's just
instant attraction to him.
No.
Based on his looks or his personality, huh?
Right.
Well, okay, so what about Walter of last season? He had the beard out there like that. You liked Walter, right?
I did, and remember what I told you about Walter? I said the key is going to be everybody like Walter. Who does Walter like? I don't think Walter liked anybody. I honestly,
I think he was feeling Sabrina.
He was feeling her, but he wasn't calling her.
He wasn't.
She said that multiple times. He was not calling her.
Yeah, because the dude was he was running his own company. He was doing boxing. He was a busy man, you know. It's not that he didn't like her. He was like, okay, we good. We can go ahead and ride into the sunset together. So, he was feeling her. He just didn't. Now, I know some women be like, oh, well, if you'll make time for those who you want to be with. I get all of that, but you got to take into account, like, he made a good point on one of his interviews. He said, look, if she's a boss chick, then she should understand how a boss move. I mean, I don't have all the time in the world. Yeah,
and maybe if that had been on the show, because I don't do the backstory of the people, because I can relate to that too. I want a man to pursue me, and at the same time, I don't want him to call me in the middle of the day because I'm in meetings. Right. And so I get it. I just didn't get that from him. I also got the feeling when I rewatched some of it, Walter was like, I like a woman to be sexual. I think Walter might have been looking for a different kind of experience, even though he doesn't look like a playboy. But that don't mean.
Yeah, I did see some of his backstories, and I don't even know if I should get into it. But he had he already said it. He had a jump off the show. So
what is that? I don't know if I know what that is.
He just had somebody he, smash occasionally,
From the show?
No, off the show.
Oh, off the show.
And I think Sabrina knew about that.
Oh.
And she was like, you got a whole girlfriend in the background you ain't talking about. And he was like, that ain't my girlfriend. We just smash buddies. That's all. But I would give that up for you.
See, if he had explained that to me, I could understand that, because I know what that can be like. I mean,
right.
Just because you're single don't mean you dry. I mean that you do nothing.
Right. And that's kind of what he was saying. Like, that's just the maintenance thing. That's not my girlfriend. But he would have dropped all of that for Sabrina. But Sabrina is a very prideful woman, so she wasn't really hearing that. But and he made a good point too. Like, if calling is and us talking is a big deal, then I'm moving and shaking, and I'm training in the boxing stuff. Why don't you call or text me? And she was just, I don't know, maybe a little too prideful to do that. So I know women like for men to chase them and stuff, and that gives them I don't know, maybe I don't know, but I ain't gonna speculate. But I
ask
know.
one.
I just know it's a thing. I just know it's a thing with women, and I get it. I get it. You do want to be pursued by a man, but at the same time, you have to be understanding of the type of man you're dealing with. Okay, if you're dealing with I'm gonna just say it. I know it's a buzzword out there, high value man, right? Then you dealing with somebody you're dealing with somebody who probably don't have as much time as Tyrone. You know what I mean? Not the Tyrone from the show, but you know what I'm saying. Or Pookie or Ray Ray. Pookie and Ray Ray got all the time in the world because they ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? And you gotta kind of keep that in mind when dealing with a certain type of man. And I don't think that Sabrina really took a lot of that into consideration. If what do you think about that?
So I agree. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I still go back. I want to answer one thing. Why women want men to pursue them.
Okay.
I know a lot of times women will hang around and just be there and be around for the man. When he ready, he look around, I'm ready for a relationship. She right there, he pick her. To me, that's because you're the last woman standing, not because that's you necessarily the choice. And so in my case, I want you to pursue me so I know this is what you want. Now, once you show me that, I'm gonna pursue you back. It's not like the whole time I'm gonna be playing games, but I need to see that interest up front, because I'm waiting to see it so I could just shower you with all that I got.
Right.
Me. So to me, because I know a lot of women that will attach themselves to a man, and for them to just waiting for him to pick them. And I don't want to be your default chick because everybody else is gone. Gotcha. You done pissed them all off, right? So that's just my own thing about I need to see some interest. But I didn't know Walter was training and doing all these things.
Yeah, he's a trainer at a boxing gym. He's also an entrepreneur. He do tours.
He had time for the show though. Come on, man.
He had time. Well, okay. So here's the thing. He almost quit the show. He told the producers, "Look, I don't have time for this. These women are being too catty. They being immature, and I don't really have the time to even invest in something like this." And the producers convinced him to stay on the show. It was like, look, we only got a couple weeks left. Just hang in there, Walt. And he said, okay. And then Sabrina told him, hey, Walter, stay on the show. You know what time it is. I'm going to pick you. She told him that.
Well, I got the feeling, even when he said at the end, when he was picking her, I didn't feel like it was a romantic pick. It was a develop a friendship relationship pick. It's something he said that made me think, okay, they're not gonna ever date, but maybe they're friends, and that's what I picked up, because I just felt like Walter was the man everybody liked, and he didn't have to work hard, so he didn't work hard.
Well,
so much interest.
Ultimately, the dude wanted to have kids, and
Sabrina didn't want any, right?
Well, Sabrina was on the fence. She said she ended up saying she would have one with Walter if he wanted one. So maybe his perfect match was not on the show. Maybe her perfect match was not on the show.
I do think they had instant chemistry up front, and I don't think anybody else was a closer match to him as her, though.
Exactly.
If he had picked somebody else, I'd have been like, no, that's not gonna work. I did think the speed.
And she said, I always felt second, and he was like, what are you talking? Yeah, second to who? Ask Momine. You was number one.
Yeah, because that's why she bowed out. She was like, I can't. Right. He ain't different when he with her.
Right. So what are you talking about? You always felt second to who? Mm-hmm. And I agreed with him, because anybody who was watching the show seen that she was always his number one. So I kind of felt that was an excuse by Sabrina, but
maybe she didn't like him. Maybe she liked somebody else. Maybe
she was there for the gram. Maybe she was there for the gram. You know
I
what I
told
mean?
you I thought that whole cast was about show business anyway. So
yeah, and then she got this clothing line that's out. And these are not my words; these are Walter words. He said, she got this clothing line, and maybe she was there for that. I don't know. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility, but
we'll talk about the wrong season.
I know. So last is what, Lamont or whatever his name is?
It was Fernando. Okay, so Fernando. From a distance, until he opened his mouth, would have been cool, right? But I don't know if he smoked a lot of weed. His teeth, again, mouths. For me, that was a turn. He was a turn off to me. Now, do I think he was interviewing people? I didn't get a whole bunch of that, but this part wasn't.
The weed lips. He had weed lips.
He did. Check him. Well, you can't check him out because he got voted off. But if you replay it, you see his little dark chap, Yeah. But some women, that might not be a turn off for someone. For me, it is. And then his, some of the guys have really pretty smiles. His smile needed a little work.
So he was like, well, he was voted off too. So
yep.
All
I would have given him like a 3. I never did. Demetrius would have probably got. I never give him a 5. But he's just not my type so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let me get into these ladies. Let me say this.
Taking a deep breath.
It's hard out here. It's hard out here for the men. It's hard out here. Look, they don't, like, when they was in Houston, they had beautiful women. Atlanta, they had beautiful women. I don't know. I only seen 2 or 3 that I would be halfway interested in on this season. But maybe that's because they're only doing 7 people this time. I don't know, but I don't know. It just wasn't super impressive to me with the women. But let me start with KINA. Okay. I wrote a note about KINA. Let me see. If Basic was a person.
Oh, you know what I put on her? I put she got regular energy, so that's almost like Basic, just like
yeah, she got regular energy. She looked like she scratched under her breast a little bit. And it's almost as if they picked her up from a bar and she just took her shot and came on the show. She had a hangover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was just as basic as, I'm like, how?
And she had no bra. She needed one.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, hold on. You need one that need a bra.
Yeah. I heard people talking about she didn't have no bra. And it was like, come on, RTL. Where you finding these women at? Like, oh my goodness. I gave her a 4.5. Okay. Next up is Ace. Ace, I kind of think she's being fake. Okay. She's very real in her interviews, but when she's with the guys, she's being it's her representative. I will be able to point that out day one when I met her. That's your representative. That ain't you.
Yeah, I was thinking in one scene, I was like, is she an airhead? But she might just be turning on her Betty Boop for the guys. But then in the confessional, she's more
she more relaxed. She more her real self. And then when she get in front of the guys, it's a representative. You know what I mean? It's like, I wasn't even really impressed with her looks. I gave her looks a 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Next up is Joy, and this is the one that was talking to the teddy. What's the teddy bear guy name?
Clifton.
Cliff. Yeah. You know, she's nice looking sister. You know, I think she had some locks in too. She had the tattoos. You know, not that hard, but I'm not that, you know, turned on by the tattoos, but she did look pretty nice. So, you know, and she seemed to be pretty open. Maybe Cliff just kind of opened her up a little bit, her personality up. I think, you know, she felt real relaxed with him. Actually, that's a couple I would like to see go all the way, if I'm being honest.
And Joy.
And Joy, yeah. I gave her a 7, by the way.
That's right. You grade hard.
Yeah.
You're a hard grader.
Yeah. So next up is Precious. Nah, I just said it country. I don't know why.
You sure did.
But because it said, I used to know a woman named Precious. I worked at a bank with a Precious. It's just
that's a rough name to give a kid to grow up to be an adult woman.
Yeah. Now you tell me this, because when I talked to some people, they said she gave off stripper vibes. Did you see stripper in Precious?
I didn't get that. I mean, her name might give you stripper vibes. Again,
right.
Name, you got to think about your name, your kid, what kind of adult they're gonna be. They got to.
I don't even think that's her real. It might be her real name, because I knew somebody whose real name was Precious, but
no. But her wig was kind of terrible. There were some scenes where her wig was swept over, like, and I was like, the wig is driving me bananas. Please make it.
Yes.
But I thought she grew on me because of her conversation with Tori. Like, I just felt like she had depth. She was smart. She was open. But no, I didn't get the stripper.
She was. I think her personality was probably higher than her looks. She didn't really seem to have that great of skin, you know.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. Like,
yeah, around her, exactly, around that area, and she didn't really have many assets. So,
but her booty wasn't big enough for you.
Nah.
Are you an ass man?
Not so much, but you know, just her overall look just was very big. Like, she one of those women, if you'll be afraid when she take all that stuff off. Like, what's she gonna look like? You know, take the hair off, the lashes, take the heels off, you know what I mean? You're gonna be, I mean, probably be like, wow, she did magic with that makeup and stuff. But yeah, so she's probably one of those people you will be afraid to see. I gave her a 6.5. I did kind of like her height. I did like her frame was okay. It just didn't it was just kind of basic, but her personality was a lot better than her looks.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Another Sabrina. We got Sabrina 2.0. I think she called herself that.
Oh, that's why she said that? Because I don't know why she said. I thought she was working on herself. But
you know what? Yeah, I think the producers gave her that name, Sabrina 2.0, and she just kind of ran with it. I could be wrong, but yeah. So Sabrina 2.0. I gave her a 7.5. I thought she was she had especially in her interview, she looked really nice in her interview.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she is.
Clothes are a little.
She didn't really have much body, you know. She was very basic in that category, but her face and everything, yeah, it was pretty nice. So I gave her a 7.5. I graded her basically on the interview look, not the regular look, because they all look kind of, beat down at the end of the day uh during the first meet and greet. So I didn't judge her on that scale. So yeah. It's kind of hard to gauge the personalities. I'm not sure how her personality is yet. But yeah, there you have it. Tiffany. I gave her a 6.5.
She is not memorable to me. Describe her.
Oh, you put me on the spot because she's not memorable to me either.
Almost like Precious, but not as attractive. Like brown. She was the one that was guarded when old boy was asking about if her kids were ready for her to date. She was like, I just don't feel like I'm gonna be getting all into it like that. I think that might.
Yeah, I think that was her. That was her. Again, I might have to watch a little bit more to get a gauge on her personality and stuff. But from what I've seen, I did give her a 6.5, and we can go from there. And last is Dakia. I gave her a 7.5. So her and Sabrina are tied. I think that her and Sabrina are really the initial only two I would be even halfway interested in. Joy could probably get it too, but yeah, those two, Dakia, Sabrina, and I gave her a 7.5. Now she seems a little closed in, a little stiff. I need to see more from her. I mean, but she got a nice, corporate look, I guess you could say, or a frame, and so that's why, I gave she looks so sophisticated and classy, so that's why I gave her that.
She is a systems engineer, right? I remembered her because I don't know what systems, but she's an engineer. So of course, I'm a fan. She's an engineer.
There you go.
So you're gonna get, even though she probably has like a wild side or feminine side, you are gonna see her. I mean, she's a techie, and so it'll take a little bit for her to open up. Right. See, just like take a little bit for me to open up.
Right. But we ran out of time. Thanks for joining us. Since BMR covered it, now it's official. Check out some more episodes where we're going to do some more ranking, and we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
All right, bye.